Hi there, this is Galen Martling. Today I'm showing Unity Stamp Company stamps along with a watercolor wash background technique that I'm going to show today. And I have colors of teal and green and all mixed together, sort of an ombre look. So for the stamps I'm using Unity's Oops, Gnome You Didn't. It has this cute little gnome in it, and also chicken wire background. And so for the stamping I'm using, for the background, I'm using Wow embossing pad for the ink, and then I'm Ranger Gold embossing powder for the shine and the shimmer for the heat embossing. And I'm using also Ranger watercolor paper for this. And so I just colored in the gnome. I pre-stamped it with Copic friendly ink, and I'm just going to use different shades of teal and cream and tan just to color in this gnome and blend in the colors. It's really sweet. What I decided to do is coordinate the colors of the gnome with the background, and I think it turned out really nicely. So I'm making sort of a pop-up gnome panel for the background, but you can also put the gnome panel behind the background to get the same similar window look on the bottom of the card. There's different ways you can do it, and I decided at first I wanted to just stamp the gnome, color it, and put it in the background and have the background watercolor panel over top, but decided to go ahead and pop it up instead. So once the heat embossing is all set, you go ahead and you have your water next to you there. I have mine's in a green sort of a canister, and then you mix some colors in and you swipe it with a wide brush, one color at a time, and then in between colors just clean off your brush with the water. I don't show that process, but you just do that in between the colors. And so I just decide how deep I want it. In this particular instance, I wanted this whole background to be very rich in color, almost dark, but as watercolor dries, it will dry lighter. So I go ahead and just really saturate the background with different colors of teal and green and blue and light blue, and sort of let them blend a little bit where they meet, but primarily try to keep the stripes in there and just a definition between the colors. And so you just do this over. What happens is you have an emboss resist technique there also with the embossing. It will peek through and it will still shine after this watercolor is dried. I love it. This little chicken wire is going to be just a background accent. It's just going to peek through behind the circle that I'm going to make for the gnome. Now keep in mind when you die cut the circle, the image can be behind the background or above it or in front of it. So here I just use some rectangle dies and circle dies by My Creative Time and just cut them out. I also decided where I wanted that gnome and to make sure there's enough room. And also I have this extra piece that I can use as a card accent later on, and I will. It's so pretty. I hate to throw these pieces away that are finished with watercolor. To adhere watercolor panel, I like to use score tape or something very extra tacky so that it doesn't pop up on the edges. And so for this gnome, I went ahead and used foam tape because I wanted it to pop up. I just decided at the last minute to pop it up instead of putting it behind. And then you just trim off the excess of that circle and you place the sentiment. I placed the sentiment with foam tape as well. And just to finish it, I used Nouveau crystal drops in bright gold and just a hint on the top corner and the bottom corner. There you go. It's so sweet. It's really pretty in person. It really shimmers. Thanks so much for watching, and please take a moment to subscribe to my channel, like, and share. Have a great day.